and welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnocky, and as always, I'm here with Jess Perkins and Matt Stewart.
Hey.
Number one, baby. Yes.
Okay. I'm like, did we just hit the top of the
Number
ratings?
one
No.
on the charts, baby. We did it.
You know how, FM radios, radio shows, if they hit the top, they're like so ostentatious about it, like, yeah, number one. We should definitely do that. 34 on the iTunes charts.
Yes.
34, baby.
Woo!
You know what I love, Dave, about how you start the show is? You say your name and I go, that's right. Because every episode I'm like,
Who's this?
it's so familiar.
Who is that?
I need a context clue.
Do I
We're
know-
in this room.
I know him from somewhere.
How do I know this
I
man?
know, he's got something to do with Jess.
Yeah.
And then you say, I'm Dave Warnocky.
That's it. That's
Here I am.
Dave Warnocky.
That's Dave Warnocky. And this is the Do Go On podcast. Or have you say that?
Hello and
Another.
welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My
Yeah.
name is Dave Warnocky, and as always, I'm here with, and he switches up the order so we don't get pissy.
And then I say, wait, what's my name again? And then you say, and it's so good.
Yeah.
And
Anyway.
I point.
Dave,
Jess,
Yes.
Matt.
you
Yeah.
were so good at explaining that. Would you be as good at explaining the show?
Wow.
Yeah, for sure. So basically what we do here at Do Go On, the name of the program, is we take it in turns to report on a topic.
A program that's number one,
Whoa.
baby.
Topic often suggested to us by one of the listeners. We go away, do a little bit of research, then bring it back to the group in a report. And the other two, they don't know what the topic's going to be. We always keep that a secret from each other. So, Jess, to get us onto topic, as it is your turn to report, you're going to ask us a question.
And my question is, what is the American word for rubbish?
Oh, garbage.
No.
It's
Ooh,
a trash.
Trash.
Where's garbage from? Is
Well,
that
they probably say
English?
garbage as well.
Trash.
Trash.
They say garbage man.
Yeah, they say trash compactor.
And they say,
Oh no, I've fallen into the trash compactor. What a way to die.
don't hit compact. Oh my God, I can't believe they threw out all these potatoes. We could have eaten those. You fucking monsters up there.
Now I'm going to be mashed potatoes with these spuds.
Oh my God.
Some early masterclass in accent work.
We got to make some tater tots.
They love tater tots.
Oh no, my retainer's in there.
Oh my gosh, someone threw out their baby's pacifier. I can put that in my mouth. I can feel pacified.
Oh no. There's so many diapers in here.
Oh, I'm on my neck in diapers.
If I can just crawl out, I can get to the sidewalk.
And then I'm going to go for lunch. I can't wait to get to the cafeteria.
And so, Jess, you're doing an episode about trash?
About trash.
Trash compactor?
Well, no.
Oh, no,
it's
sorry. Yeah, trash. It was just you threw it.
trash. You threw in compactor and then retainer and then pacifier and it went from there. No, so I didn't really have a great way to get onto the topic because I knew you wouldn't have heard of it because this topic is about a yacht that was called the Trashman.
Oh,
That's a great name for a yacht.
great name.
Yeah. And so this is sort of about the voyage of the Trashman.
The Voyage of the Trashman. That sounds like some sort of sci-fi epic.
Yeah.
Yeah, will that be the title of the episode? The Voyage of the Trashman?
Probably not, but maybe.
I'm up
Because
for
it
that.
doesn't give anything away, I guess.
I'm intrigued.
Hard to say. So this has been suggested by a couple of people. It's been voted on by the Patreons, but it's been suggested by Emma from Melbourne and Melissa from Singleton in New South Wales. Interesting that it was two people from Australia that suggested this because it is an American topic.
Oh, hence trash.
Trash, compactor, water. So I would love to tell you this story now, if that's okay with you guys.
Oh, God, sorry. I just got some cilantro in my eye over here.
Oh no, I've got some oregano. Oregano.
Oregano!
I realized I was saying it like we say
That's
it.
them doing us. Oh, no, mate. I've got some oregano in my eye.
I've got some oregano in my eye. Craig, please come over and help me out.
Quick, put on those aluminum gloves. I don't know why gloves are made of aluminum, but they are. touchdown. The quarterback.
This is
Threw
fun
the ball.
for all of our American
Sorry,
listeners.
I just before we get on, we've got a rare negative review, and I thought I'd read it out just for any new listeners.
Why would you read this?
No, I just thought just for any new listeners.
Okay, but am I going to be hurt?
No, we'll save them some time.
Okay.
They complain about the thing that
we do
the
for
people
a job?
always complain about.
I see.
Not much depth is the title. 2 stars.
Well, unlike a Chicago deep dish,
That-
which Matt described in a message to us as a lovely depth.
Oh, lovely depth. How deep are they? Because you wanted to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How deep are they? Well,
A lovely depth.
They start off by giving us a suggestion for what we should have called the show. Get on with it rather than do go on is what I was thinking.
Wow.
Which is
That's
fantastic.
good
But
stuff.
if we called it Get On With It, we probably wouldn't do any of the riffs. That's what they want us to do, but that's not what the show should be called.
Yeah.
That should be your show where you get on with it. We
Yeah.
never promised. If we promised to get on with it, then we didn't, I'd understand the complaint.
Yes. Great point.
Based on the topics listed, I was expecting the show to be a bit more intelligent. Hosts somewhat sweary and childish humour.
Fuck you.
No desire to listen to another app. Fuck you, and yeah, that's what you are. What am I?
A garbage man.
Look,
I just thought it would be good to get that up the top in case someone listening is going, well, I'm looking for something intelligent
yeah,
where they
we're
get
not for
on with
you.
it.
We're
Yeah.
not for you.
I think it's a fair warning up the top.
And as Dave said, if we were called Get On With It and then we didn't, you'd have every right to be pissed. We have also never said we're historians or academics or intelligent people. We are
Childish.
comedians. We are childish.
Childish comedians.
Childish comedians.
I think if it was called Get On With It, I would also expect a rambly show. Don't you reckon?
Yeah, because you'd be like, get on with it.
Get on with it.
And
Yeah,
the do
okay.
go on is sometimes we use that to end a riff and get back to the topic.
I think, if anything, the show, if you wanted a show like that, look up shows that are called stuff like Just the Facts,
Yeah. Yeah.
Straight to the Point.
No
Yeah.
faff.
Look up podcasts by dull people, and then you'll get the depth you want. We're just not the show for you, and that's okay.
I think we should do a second version of the show where we get AJ just to edit out all the crap. And
They'd
just
be
go,
the shortest fucking episodes ever.
Mate, there you go. If you want that, it's over there.
Oh, it'd be so boring.
Then they'd have a problem with that too somehow, though, wouldn't they?
Maybe. Anyway, sorry to derail.
Yeah, you can fucking get on with it.
Get on with it.
Get on with it.
All right.
They're from New Zealand, that person, so it should be. Say it like they would.
Get on with it.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, AJ. And New
AJ,
Zealand.
our editor, of course, is from New
Is
Zealand.
from New Zealand, and we love AJ, but we hate New
This
Zealand.
is a multi-country.
I love New
I
Zealand.
love New Zealand. Shut up. Okay. While you're both having a drink, I'm going to just try and start.
Good work.
On a sunny October day in 1982, 24-year-old Debbie Scaling was standing by a bank of payphones on the docks of Annapolis Harbour in Maryland. Debbie was an accomplished sailor, having taken up sailing at an early age and began working on yachts as a crew member. The year before, in fact, she'd been the first woman to complete the Whitbread Round the World race. It's now called the Ocean Race. It's a yacht race around the world, as the title suggested. It's held every 3 or 4 years. And during that race, she'd navigated some of the most difficult conditions on the planet. And as a result, she was already pretty well known in professional sailing circles. She's only 24. Debbie had been hired to crew a 58-foot sailing yacht called the Trashman for a routine Maine to Florida transfer. Basically, it had been sold from one millionaire to another millionaire. And the second millionaire, or one of them, had made his money in like trash.
Yeah.
And so he named his boat the Trash Man.
Oh, okay. Because I don't think you see that job advertised, crew needed for trash man.
Yeah.
Oh, very funny.
It's fun stuff.
It's real.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the yacht had already sailed from Maine to Maryland, and it was while they were docked in Annapolis Harbour that Debbie was looking for some help. The journey had not been going smoothly so far. So there's this really great article written by a journalist. I've got his name later, but it was published in Boston Magazine, and I reference it a lot. And so from that article, the boat's captain, John Lippeth, who was a heavy drinker, was passed out below deck when she first showed up at the Southwest Harbour dock in Maine to report for work. Soon after they set sail, they picked up the captain's girlfriend, Meg Mooney, because she wanted to come along for the trip. From Maine to Maryland, Lippeth rarely eased the sails and relied on the inboard motor, which consistently sputtered and needed repair. They'd struggled to pick up additional hands as they travelled south, and Scaling knew they needed more qualified help for the difficult sail along the coast of the Carolinas, exposed at sea to high winds and waves. So while they're docked, she's thinking about who she could call to come and help on this job. And she thought of her friend Sarah Kavanagh. Sarah was also an accomplished and promising sailor who Debbie had met as part of the race the year prior. I'm not sure if they were on the same boat or just sort of, all part of the race. But just as she was about to call Sarah, Debbie looked up and saw Sarah's 21-year-old brother, Brad, walking along the docks.
Is that kismet? I don't know what kismet means. Is that right?
Serendipitous, maybe?
Might be serendipitous.
Wow. So she's going to go on the payphone and then she goes, hey, it's Brad.
Yeah, she's like, I might call Sarah Kavanagh. Oh, that's Brad Kavanagh right there.
Oh my God, Brad Kavanagh's right there.
Oh my God, Brad.
Oh my God, Brad, come join the Trashman.
Hey, Brad, we're going to go trick-or-treating later.
Brad, sorry if you can't understand me. I've just got to take out my retainer.
Oh, that's so much better.
So
what we call a retainer a plate? Is that right? Or is that a different thing again?
yeah, we do call them plates or retainers.
Retainer's a better word. Plate it's already got a meaning.
Take your plate. Plate? Oh, now I can't think about it.
Because
Yeah.
I think I had a plate as a teen,
Yeah.
briefly.
Yeah. I outgrew mine. And it's crazy. My teeth have moved.
It's like a thing where
Wild.
the like metal band around the front pulls them back a bit.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Yeah, I think that's different.
But a plate you can remove, but you're talking about braces?
The retainer. Braces, I think. I
you
think they
usually
call
have
braces
your retainer
braces.
after your braces to
Right.
retain the shape of your teeth. So
Oh.
usually you'd wear it maybe while you're sleeping or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then I just stopped.
My teens were a long time ago. I might be misremembering.
I
I
can't
think-
believe they had braces back
I
then.
think orthodontics have come a long way in the last few hundred years, man.
Yeah, that's probably true. Mine were made of wood.
Yeah.
But they looked beautiful.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, she's going to call Sarah, and then there's Sarah's brother, and they come from a sailing family. So Brad's a pretty good sailor as well.
Brad'll do.
Crazy. And Brad was there with his friend Mark Adams, who was a mid-20s Englishman who'd been Kavanagh's occasional racing partner. They'd sailed a bit together. A job that Mark Adams had previously secured for them aboard a boat had fallen through, and all they had to show for it was like $50 each. So they were wandering around trying to see if they could get work.
Oh my
great.
God. Is this kismet? Am I saying that?
Are we both Googling kismet?
Have you heard the word kismet
Yeah, I have.
before?
Fate or destiny. Yes,
Okay.
you're right. Yep.
I think I've heard it in an American movie.
It's kismet.
That's kismet.
So, yeah, they're looking for work, and Debbie told the two young men that they needed extra hands on their crew. She introduced them to the captain, John. He offered them jobs, and they happily accepted. What a beautiful moment of serendipity.
This is a lovely story.
So nice.
I love where this is going.
But it would be a decision that Brad would soon regret.
Oh, no. He's going to have some sort of workplace dispute, being underpaid.
Mm-hmm.
So
There's no HR on the boat.
Exactly. He's got nowhere to go.
Oh no, he's going to get seasick.
Brad.
God.
He didn't know, but this is, the seas can get a bit rough.
I said he was from a sailing family, but they mostly just had the boat in the backyard
Yeah.
and practiced, but he'd never
A
actually
lot
been
of
on the ocean.
sailing
Okay, yeah. That took me
in
a
the
sec.
backyard.
But that's good stuff. So
It was pretty
good stuff.
It made sense that took you a few seconds. It was pretty complicated.
It was very highbrow. And that's what you get at Do Go On, okay?
Yeah.
Might not be depth, but it is highbrow comedy.
That's true.
I'm offended by that.
Oh, that review?
Unbelievable, yeah.
No, but I think that's what everyone
I'm
everyone
kidding.
on first listen.
Yeah, of course.
Nearly every single person hates it.
But if you really don't like something, just don't listen to it.
Yeah, well, I think that's what most people would do.
Yeah.
I like the ones who stick with it and figure it out, like Marcel Blanche de Wilt did.
Yeah, that's right. At first he was like,
He sent me a message very much like that.
yeah, get to the point more.
Yeah.
And now he owes us everything.
Yeah.
Everything he has is
He
because of us.
begs to come on this show now
And
so
we
he
say,
can talk shit.
And do
We'll
the
check
longest
the calendar.
episodes.
Okay, so picture it though. It's a crew of young people. They're all in their 20s. They're sailing a millionaire's yacht down the east coast of the US.
Oh my!
It's a dream job.
This is like a reality show.
So fun.
This sounds fun.
But unfortunately, 2 days into their voyage, a tropical storm formed off of Cape Fear in the Carolinas.
Oh my god, it's already terrifying.
I know.
The fact that Dave's frame of something being a dream this is like a reality TV show. That's how great this sounds.
My dream.
Which one are you thinking of? None of them.
Love Island?
None of them would be fun.
They're great. You know, you walk around. He's been doing a lot of abseiling, fantastic abs, which they all have.
Yes.
Just like on a reality TV show.
Yeah.
The producers are whispering to you, be mean to that person. Please, it'll be fun.
Hey, you'll never believe what she said about you earlier. Oh, my God. If you cry, I'll give you $100.
If you make them cry, I'll give you $200.
Oh.
And here's a half bottle of vodka.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think about that?
Go. So, yeah, there's a big tropical storm. It's whipping up massive, violent waves out of nowhere. Like, they're checking their charts. They're like, where the fuck did this come
Oh,
from?
my God. Cape
Oh my
Fear.
God. Is this Kismet? I don't know if I'm using that right.
No, now it's not right. So, Brad, they're rocking. Like, it's really heavy waves. Brad braced himself by pressing his feet and back between the walls of a narrow hallway. So he's sort of like bracing himself there to keep from being knocked down as 30-foot tall walls of water tossed the boat around the open ocean, the open
my
seas.
God.
The article I mentioned is by Kevin Koshwara, and it was published by Boston Magazine. This is a little chunk from that. He tells the story very well. As the storm continued, Kavanagh grew increasingly angry. At 21 years old and less experienced than most of the others, he felt as though no one had a plan for how they were going to get out of this mess alive. He knew their situation was dire. The motor was dead for the third time on the trip, and they'd already cut off the wind-damaged main sail.
Oh, no.
That meant nature was in control. They could only ride it out and hope to survive long enough for the Coast Guard to rescue them. Crewmates had been in contact with authorities nearly every hour since the early morning, and a rescue boat was supposedly on its way. It's just a matter of time, Kavanagh told himself again and again. Just a matter of time.
Is he saying before they are rescued or before they die?
He's probably hopeful. Like,
Right.
there's people coming.
Right.
It's all right. It'll be fine.
This will die down.
Yeah. And they're in a yacht. I'm pretty sure from memory there were like cargo ships kind of in the area that were asked to go help them. So it's like going to be a bigger ship. Hopefully it can handle the waves a bit better.
Right.
After a while,
They just come by and I picture him just scoop them up, with a big net.
Yeah. Zoop. Boat and all.
Yeah.
There you go, little fella.
Yeah, just plonk it down.
And they're like, oh, thanks.
A big
quite
trawler
nice.
or whatever. Yeah.
Just picks them up. After a while, the storm settled into a predictable pattern. The boat would ride up a wave, tilt slightly to port side, then ride down the wave and ride itself for a moment.
Oh, my God.
So they're really rocking. It would ride itself for a moment of stillness and quiet, sheltered from the wind in the valley between mountains of water.
So if you look to your left,
Water.
look to your right,
Water.
what if you look at the floor?
Actually, sky. The boat's upside down. It's a
Glass
glass
bottom.
bottom boat. It's beautiful. It's a submarine. So Brad began to relax, and then the boat rose over another wave, tilted hard, and never righted itself. Watching the dark waters of the Atlantic approach with terrifying speed through the window in front of him, Kavanagh braced for impact. An instant later, water shattered the window and began rushing into the boat. He jumped up from the floor with a single thought. He had to rouse Scaling from her bunk room. He had to get everyone off the ship.
She was
I was
asleep.
going to say, rouse her?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a deep sleeper.
If you have the best sea legs in the world, you can just sleep through anything.
Isn't that crazy?
Or is she like in a hammock or something? So it's always, just
she's
riding
still,
itself?
yeah. Isn't that wild? So he's thinking, I have to get everyone off the ship. The trash man is going down.
Oh, my God. Not the
trash man by name. Trash. You know what trash does? Sinks.
Oh,
Does it?
Depends on what the trash is.
What if it's like a broken yacht?
That's going down.
Yeah.
That's going down. Brad burst into Debbie's cabin to get her, while Mark went and got John and Meg. The five of them huddled together at the foot of the stairs as water rose around them. John tried to get to the radio to call for help, but the water was rising too fast and he couldn't get to the radio.
shit.
They climbed up on deck of the yacht and started to take action to abandon ship. Mark frantically struggled to open the pressurized canister that holds the life raft and survival gear. I didn't know that. It's like in a little pressurized canister. You can open that and it just sort of goes like, pah!
Oh, cool. Like Yeah, I was going to say an inflatable thing. Yeah.
Which is exactly yes. So he's trying to get that, but he's struggling to open it. But the life raft has survival gear with it. So it's got a first aid kit, emergency food and drinking water, emergency beaconing device that planes would be able to pick up on. It might have flares, all sorts of stuff.
That'd be a great version of, the old trick of like, have some nuts, and you open the nuts and snakes pop out. But you go, here, have some nuts and a
boat.
But you're all going down at the time. There's no time for nuts now.
Open the nuts! Open the nuts!
It's a really good bit.
Yeah.
But you won't
It'll
break
be worth it.
It'll be worth it. Just do it.
Just do it.
I've got no time for
You
nuts.
have to trust me. You have to trust me.
Just throwing the nuts away. No, you gotta
Throw the nuts into the water.
No. It's a funny bit. You've ruined it.
Open the nuts.
It was going to be really funny, and it would have saved our lives.
But great.
You've ruined it.
You've ruined it. Well, I guess all that's left to do is pull my finger.
Pull my finger.
I also turned into a life raft.
Look, I could save you. All you have to do is pull my finger.
So Mark's struggling to get the life raft open, and in the meantime, Brad goes towards the other option, which is this small 11-foot red and black Zodiac Mark II. It's a little dinghy.
And that's not pressurized. It's ready to go.
It's ready to go. But the motor for it is attached to the yacht. So he's sort of like got the motor is attached, but the yacht is sinking too fast.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So Brad loses grip of the dinghy slightly. It floats off a little bit, but luckily not too far. So he makes a swim for it, getting out to the dinghy fairly quickly.
Doing that fun thing where you put the pool toy in and then you jump onto it.
Yeah.
Like an inflatable
Go,
whale or something.
whee! Yeah. And you always fall off.
Whoa!
Bit of fun. Mark Adams had less success with the life raft, though. A strong gust of wind ripped the life raft out of his hands, and the sinking yacht started to take the raft and its emergency food, water rations, and first aid kit down with it.
Oh, no.
That doesn't sound like a great system.
You should be able to get it very easily.
Yeah.
But then if it's too easy, what's to stop you if you hit a wave and you fall back and you knock it and out pops your life raft? You can't just fold it back up and put it back in like a
but it
sleeping bag.
Like maybe there's like a happy medium between impossible in an emergency and if you accidentally lean on it, it pops.
Yeah, there's got to be somewhere in between. Yeah. You're right. So Brad yelled to the others to grab a hold.
Maybe if you have to sing something like a certain key
I'm
in a row.
a honey, honey, so honey.
You're flat.
Oh
Jess,
my God. Pitch up. Oh my God.
Needs to be perfect pitch.
Oh no! I'm trying to get through it quickly, and it's like no,
that's not it.
Terrible rhythm. Oh my God.
Why did we choose this song?
Enunciate.
It's so inappropriate right now. I'm not horny. I'm very scared. Why were we singing that as children? So Brad yells to the others to grab a hold of the raft.
He yells to the others, suck shit.
Bye. He's like, the yacht is going to suck everything down with it, so you got to get away from it.
Ah, yes. Like Leo said.
Like the Titanic. I learnt so much from that film. The crew made it onto the dinghy with nothing but clothes on their back. They had nothing with them. As they turned around, the last visible piece of the trash man disappeared beneath the ocean.
Oh my God.
Goodbye, trash man. Valet.
Valet, trash man. The five of them had made it to the dinghy, but they had nothing. No food, no water, no radio, no motor.
Oh, yeah. They're just sort of floating on something, aren't they?
And remember, the reason the yacht sank was because of horrendous weather conditions, which are still happening.
Oh, no.
So it didn't suck down all the waves with it.
It didn't take the waves down with it.
Damn it.
Is Brad still just in the hallway of the dinghy?
Just
Press
bracing.
Up, you're bracing.
Annoyed at everyone else.
Yeah.
He actually genuinely was very mad at everybody else.
They've had no plan.
Yeah. And that, yeah. So the five of them, they're in the water. They're holding on to the lines around the Zodiac because if they turn the boat around the right way, the wind will blow it over.
Oh, so they're actually floating in the
water.
They're
floating in the water, holding on.
Sides.
The dinghy is upside down.
Oh my gosh.
And they're holding on. Plus, the wind is about 4 degrees Celsius, so 40 Fahrenheit, and they're all wet. So if they were in the dinghy, they'd quickly become hypothermic. So they're staying in the water.
The water is actually
safer.
warmer because the wind chill factor's crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
As the storm calmed down slightly, they were able to duck under the boat and take cover from the wind using the pocket of air underneath to breathe.
Oh, my God.
Well, that sounds very smart, but you also can't see the waves now coming. So you kind of just sort of hoping for the best, right?
I guess this is as it's calmed down a little bit. And yeah, if you're just underneath and holding on, you just kind of go with the waves, I guess.
Oh, wow, that's so
But
scary. So
I-
scary.
When I've been snorkeling recently and wearing a flotation device and going with the waves, I've thrown up. So yeah, it wouldn't be very nice.
Oh my gosh, you'd be kicked out of the boat for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'd
Yeah,
be like,
all
fair
that
enough.
chum you're spreading out,
Yeah.
sharks will be there in no time.
Yep. So Brad devised a plan for the crew to seek shelter on the underside of the Zodiac, yet remain out of the water because the water's cold. So this took me ages to try and understand. I needed to watch an episode of I Shouldn't Be Alive where they dramatically reenacted it to kind of understand.
I shouldn't be alive, and I'm not.
And I'm not.
And as it turns out, I'm not.
I'm not.
Is it? I don't know if I remember. Is this day or night? Just to get my picture right.
I think this is night.
Night, yeah.
So he grabbed a wire on the raft and he ran it from side to side, kind of to make like a net or a hammock type thing. And he and one of the others lay across the wire, allowing them to lift most of their bodies out of the water but still be underneath the dinghy. They're kind of lying. And then the
Interesting.
others would sort of pile on top of them. So they were all kind of out of the water, but they were huddled together. So
But they're all underneath still?
yeah. So their body heat was, I think Meg wasn't. Meg was outside. So Meg wasn't a sailor. She was there for the ride and there for like the adventure with her boyfriend. She had no sailing experience.
And because of that, they were like,
And she was terrified.
You haven't earned the right to be in the net.
No, she
Yeah.
couldn't like put her head under to get under the dinghy. She was too scared.
Oh, so she was just out in the open.
I think so.
Next to the raft.
Yeah.
Meg.
Anyway, so yeah,
Meg.
they're all there like huddled up together so their body heat can keep them somewhat warm.
Hang on. When you said Meg, you didn't mean the Megalodon. There's a Meg just outside the dinghy.
Don't let that Meg in here.
Don't let that Meg in here.
No room for you, Meg.
So they sort of layered up. They were able to stay warm, kind of. But when the oxygen underneath the Zodiac ran out, they'd exit, lift the boat just long enough to allow new air into that little pocket.
Oh my gosh.
And they'd go back under again.
It's very smart.
Yeah.
I would never think of something like
No.
that. But that's also awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like they've all gone through this before. Like, yeah, we're just remembering our training.
Yeah.
We made a wire net so we could all lie upside down underneath the dinghy.
Yeah. It's pretty wild.
But are they, this isn't like common wisdom or anything.
This is Brad thinking of like, how do we...
It's improvising.
Yeah.
So they're lucky Brad's with them.
Yeah, absolutely. So they kind of did that throughout the night. And the next morning, John Lipoth, the captain, unexpectedly swam out from underneath the Zodiac to find fresh air. He said he felt like he was having a heart attack. He refused to go back under. It was too much. The storm had calmed a little bit, but a cool autumn breeze was sucking the heat from their wet bodies. And Brad wanted the crew to stay under the boat to keep warm, but everybody else disagreed, and his crewmates decided to flip the boat right side up and climb on board. This was probably one of the best decisions Brad's crewmate could have made, because soon after they noticed 3 tiger sharks circling the dinghy.
Wow. From all Jess's spew.
And I'm sorry about it.
They've got a taste for it now.
I'm great to snorkel with because you want to see fish, I'll bring them. And then I have to get out of the water, please. I don't feel good.
And was Brad still underneath?
No, they'd all gotten...
They flipped it over and he's still underneath.
He's like, no. I'm doing this is my idea.
There's
okay?
no air pocket. He's just so stubborn.
Brad, there's 3 sharks. I do not give a shit. I don't care.
Back from that article by Kevin again. Mooney, that's Meg, had accidentally gotten caught on a coil of lines and wires while abandoning the yacht, leaving a bloody gash behind her knee.
Oh.
Everyone else had their cuts and scrapes too, and the sharks had followed the scent. The largest shark in the group began banging against the boat, then swam under the craft and picked it up out of the water with its body before letting it drop back down.
Oh,
They're being terrorized by a shark.
and so they just fly into the air for a little bit and then back down.
Yeah.
Just sounds like a bully.
Yeah.
Tiger shark.
They're
more
having a
bully
really
shark.
bad day. Do you mind?
Yeah, guys.
Jesus.
These sharks. Not now. Guys, okay?
Yeah, we're
We've
having a
been
hard time.
through it.
Having a tough time.
Come back later.
The crew grabbed onto the sides of the Zodiac while Brad and Debbie tried to fashion a makeshift anchor out of a piece of plywood attached to the raft with metal wire, hoping it would help steady the boat. But no sooner had they dropped the wood into the water Then a shark bit it and began dragging the boat at full speed like some twisted version of a joyride.
He's saving them.
Yes.
Is he taking them to shore?
That's so
Are
nice.
they sure it was
Oh
a shark and not a dolphin? Dolphins they can help people sometimes.
Yeah. Hey, and why can't tiger sharks?
Why can't tigers? They get such a bad rap for
Yeah.
being quite aggressive, apparently.
Yeah. Is that their fault? That's who
It's not
they
their
are.
fault. They're trying to help you.
You're having a go at them for being their true selves? Jeez. Take a look at yourselves,
Take a
Brad.
look at yourself.
I'm picturing Brad from 90s episodes of Neighbours who got attacked by a shark at one point. So this feels right.
Wow.
Is it based on Brad?
I wonder if this was based on
I would
Brad.
assume so.
Because it's the 80s?
Yeah, this is 82.
Yeah, it took 10 or so years. Long
Yeah.
blonde locks?
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're being dragged by a shark.
Yeah.
That is so wild.
So wild.
Do you think the other sharks like drag him, Kevin? Drag him.
Drag him.
Drag him.
Yeah, probably.
And then they dragged him. That's where that phrase comes from.
And then eventually they said, let it go, Kevin, because he did. He let it go. And they reeled in their makeshift anchor. They're like, okay, it's not.
We won't
best
do that
idea.
anymore.
That
We
wasn't-
won't.
Okay.
We won't throw out the jet ski line for the shark.
Yeah, they meant it to be an anchor, but it turned into be a fishing line.
Yeah, and a very effective one. It happened immediately.
They
So-
should have reeled it in. Dinner.
Yes.
Oh yeah, if you just pull that shark into the boat.
It's like an 11-foot dinghy with 5 of them in it. I don't think there's room for a shark as well.
Maybe not in the boat, but in their tums.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you still have to think about the weight of the shark. They eat the whole shark in their tums.
Oh, okay. Now we're weight shaming. These people are trying to survive.
So they have sharks circling. They have no motor, no food or water, no radio. But long before the Trashman sank, they'd radioed the Coast Guard and a rescue boat was on its way.
Yeah.
So they knew that if they just stay calm and keep the boat upright, they can make it out alive. They'll be okay. Help's on the way. Unknown at the time was that a boat had been on the way to rescue the group when, for some reason, a miscommunication or we don't know, the search was either forgotten or called off.
Forgotten.
Hey, where were we out here again?
We were going out to that spot. What was that for?
Yeah. I
Like in the middle of the night, you've gone to the fridge, open the door.
Why am I here? Yeah.
And then you go, peanut butter sandwich. And they
That's
just started
right,
making
yeah.
sandwiches.
Yeah. That's
Started
what had happened.
Drifting off.
And now no one was coming for them.
Oh my God. But thankfully they don't know that. At least you have the false hope
True.
to keep your spirits up.
So the 5 crew members of the Trashman floated in the sea for several days,
Oh my gosh. No water.
awaiting rescue. No water. Brad tried to keep his mind and body busy and do what he could to keep them alive.
What was he doing?
He pulled seaweed on board to use as blankets. He
That's
flipped
smart.
the boat to clean out urine and fetid water that accumulated in it.
Just piss off the side, Brad. Jesus. Brad's just pissing in the
What about the
boat.
girls?
Hang your butt over.
Does that look like him? That's
So
what I'm picturing.
Matt's just looked up Brad from 90s Neighbours and he could not look more different.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously the, for TV, they had to give him a certain look. Long
Yeah.
blonde locks.
Yeah,
He looks very 90s heartthrob though.
absolutely.
But yeah, have you seen any biopics or anything? They always look a little hotter on the big screen.
Yeah,
Of course they have to.
They have to.
I have to.
Everyone, looks hotter on the screen.
That's why I'd have, David Wenham would play me on the big screen.
Yes.
Even hotter than me. It's hard. There's not
hard.
many.
No.
There's not many layers to go up actors-wise. for me.
Yeah.
You'd get Bashimi for you, Dave.
That's right.
Couple of levels up.
Yeah.
Beautiful man.
They call him
man.
Hollywood Dave in LA. Do you know that? They call him
Yeah,
Hollywood
yeah,
Dave.
I've heard that. I started that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I saw
Yeah,
him.
so you're getting... Is there
Kate
anyone hotter
Blanchett,
than you? Yeah, I think that's a sideways movement.
Sandra Bullock.
Okay.
Okay, now
I
we're
also
talking.
want someone 20 years older than me.
Yeah, I've also gone an older... Oh, no, there's no one older than me.
You're
Sorry.
older. There's no one older than you.
Yeah, sorry, I get confused sometimes in my old age.
So did you miss the part about rinsing the piss out of the boat?
I did. I was looking up Brad from
Okay.
Neighbours.
But we're really glad you did.
Neighbours being a soapy...
Yes.
what do you call it? A soapy?
It's a soap. It's a soap
It's a
opera.
soap.
It's Australian soap.
Which got nominated for an Emmy for the first time this year.
Is that because Misha Barton's on it now?
I guess so.
Something on the international radar?
I think it's also it's out on Paramount. It's like an American company, I think, funded it.
Putting it forward for awards. Maybe it's Amazon?
Maybe Amazon. Yeah, one of
I
those.
think it's Paramount. This is wild because I'm trying to like build a lot of drama.
And we're talking about
And you're
one of the great dramas
no,
of the
no,
modern
no.
era.
I'm just very interested
I mean, to be fair,
at your ability to just
the only drama
sidetrack.
he's missed is that Brad keeps lifting the boat to wash out all the piss.
Yeah, and so this is how they do it.
And I said, why is Brad pissing in the boat?
Yeah.
Brad Piss. That's not a bad like porn star name if they were focusing in
Brad Piss.
Brad Piss, like Brad Pitt.
Oh,
But they-
I didn't get it.
You didn't get it?
I didn't get it. I
But
don't know how.
so they're a Brad Pitt lookalike, but they focus on golden showers. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
The way he took a breath.
He thought about it more.
I need to breathe or I'm going to vomit. Brad Pitt. They're as good looking as Brad Pitt. They're so hot. But they're like, I'll just do porn. I'll just do urine porn. So funny.
I just do urine porn. Brad Piss. I think there's something in that. If it's not clear to the listeners by now, we've been recording a few episodes today.
And I'm starting to see what that person was talking about.
Yeah.
I get it, but look, plenty of people like us.
I get it. I got it from the start.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I get
I
it.
thought it was going to be some sort of intelligent joke. Got to 40 minutes in. Brad Pitt.
But I think Jess was like, yeah, what?
It's like, okay.
The connection there is.
Sorry.
No,
Are you okay,
I
Dave?
need a minute.
Are you going to be sick?
I feel like I'm going to spew.
I don't think I've seen Dave laugh before.
No, it's nice.
It's nice.
I like it.
I'm crying. I'm going to be
it.
sick. So funny.
Brad Piss.
So, Jess is about to tell us in detail. She's going to build the drama by
Yes.
telling us how they wash the piss out of the
my
boat.
God.
Yes.
All right, we'll give you a clear run here.
First, they check for sharks, which I think is a great step one.
In the piss?
It's sharks in the piss. They'd look in the bottom of the boat and go, no sharks here. Then two of them, it was usually Mark and Brad, they'd lean back and tug on a wire that would flip the boat. They'd rinse it out. I think everybody would, maybe they jump out and then they flip it. Or yeah, that would make sense. You can't just flip it with all of them in there.
Meg refuses to jump out
No,
of fear.
well, you're getting flipped. So they flip it out, get all the piss out, flip it back up, everybody gets back in. And they do that periodically. As you can imagine, with no food and no drinking water, things became pretty dire fairly quickly.
Can I missed. Why is there so much piss in there? Why aren't they pissing overboard?
Okay, well, that's what Dave
That
said.
was my feedback.
But then, like, it's harder. Girls, we can aim, kind of.
Yeah.
But we don't have an external appendage
No.
to be able to, like...
Sheep peas weren't invented yet.
Exactly right.
But if you have to jump out of the boat to wash the piss out every 2 hours,
Yeah, why not
just jump in the
jump out
water,
and
take
piss?
a piss, and then jump back in?
Yeah, maybe. But also, like, they've all got, like, saws and stuff like that, and there is water in the boat, so
Right.
It's a bit
water
yuck
is a
in
bit
there.
yuck.
So
yeah.
they got to change it over anyway.
Yes.
So may as well piss in
May
it.
as well piss in it. And is it piss good for, like, wounds or something?
Yeah. Jellyfish.
So it's fine. So
I bet this was Brad Piss's idea.
don't start him again. He nearly threw up. It's okay. So they're all obviously very dehydrated, but Mark Adams and John Lipoff. You think you're Brad Piss again?
Are you thinking about Brad Piss again? It's such a funny.
And then a little, yeah.
I am.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, they're all dehydrated.
There's nothing funny
Nothing
about
funny
that.
about that.
Honestly, they should have been drinking that piss. They've wasted good piss.
Dehydrated piss is pretty full on, isn't it? That's like when it's orange.
It'd
And
be pretty dark.
That versus nothing.
But Mark and John are kind of more severe than the others. Both had been drinking quite heavily while on the yacht.
Oh, dear.
Lipoff had been chain smoking too. So the two men were already ahead of the rest of their crewmates when it came to dehydration. They were pretty bad. Meanwhile, the cut on Meg's leg was infected and pussy, and she became really sick from the infection. The boat was small. They didn't have much room to spread out. They all developed body sores, likely from staph infections they all had. Brad's skin became so tender that even brushing up against another person sent a current of pain through his body.
Oh, my God.
Right,
This is
because
a nightmare.
you're wet from salt water.
Yeah.
You got the sun all day long.
You must be burnt, and they've got sores all over them.
Sitting in a pool of piss.
Sitting in
Yeah.
piss and pus, and staph infections are very contagious. So
Yeah.
you're all just sitting there tight together in a pool of filth. You're going to get sick. After 3 days without food and water and using their energy to hold on to the Zodiac during the storm, they were all completely spent. By this point, they figured that no one was coming for them, or at the very least, they'd floated so far that rescue crews couldn't find them. They figured their only hope was washing up on shore, but they didn't know that they had actually floated further out to sea.
Oh,
No,
no.
into the pond.
It's all bad.
So the shark actually dragged them away from home.
Yeah.
It was a shark, not a dolphin for sure.
Yeah, dolphins would go, you need to,
This way, come with me.
Yeah. So the next day, in desperation, Mark Adams and John Lippoth began drinking seawater.
Oh, no.
And that temporarily, very temporarily, relieves you of a bit of dehydration. But we know that drinking seawater can make you a little bit mad. And I knew that, but I didn't know why. So I looked into
Yeah.
it.
Why?
And from howstuffworks.com. It says human kidneys can only produce urine that's slightly less salty than salt water. So in order to remove the extreme amount of sodium taken in by salt water, we urinate more than we actually drank. So you're pissing more than you're taking in. You're Brad pissing more.
So it just sucks you dry.
Yeah, it dehydrates you faster. And so if you're guzzling seawater, this is still from How Stuff Works, you aren't taking in any water but incurring a net loss, leading to depleted body fluids, muscle cramps, dry mouth, and more thirst. You're even thirstier.
Right.
So the body tries to compensate for fluid loss by increasing the heart rate and constricting blood vessels to maintain blood pressure and to flow to vital organs. You're also likely to feel nausea, weakness, and even delirium. As you become more dehydrated, the coping mechanisms fail. If you still don't drink any water to reverse the effects of excess sodium, the brain and other organs receive less blood, leading to coma, organ failure, and eventually death.
Jeez.
So it's really serious.
Well,
I
that's
wanna-
good. Good message. I wouldn't have thought to drink salt water anyway, but
Yeah, definitely don't.
But
Definitely
I wonder,
don't.
even if you know that, if you're so thirsty in that instance, you
Yeah.
just see that water and go,
I'll just have a bit.
yeah.
and it's just like just for now.
Yeah.
I care about right now.
yeah, you're that thirsty that you
Yeah.
just sort of like can't logically think this is actually worse.
And the kit with the proper life raft would have stuff you can use to make seawater drinkable.
Oh,
So
that just sunk to the bottom.
yeah, it's gone. They don't have that. So
They
that's
had a little D-cell plant.
yeah, kind of. So that's how. Yeah, I knew that drinking seawater made you a bit loopy, but I didn't really know why. It's just like extreme dehydration, I suppose. And if you've ever been even mildly dehydrated, it's awful. It's very bad. So yeah, things aren't going to go too well here. So back to the dinghy. Soon enough, delusions began. Within 8 hours, they reckon, Lippoth started reaching around the bottom of the boat looking for supplies that didn't exist. We bought cigarettes. Where are they? He asked. Then Lippoth began trying to convince Meg that they were going to take a plane to Maine, where his mother worked at a hospital. We're going to Portland, he told her. I'm going to get the car. I want you guys to pick up the boat and I'll come out and get you, Lippoth said before sliding over the edge of the Zodiac and into the water.
Okay.
Debbie told Brad he had to go get John, but Brad, none of them had any energy. They're so depleted, they can't move. So they try to coax John back onto the boat, but it was too late. The wind pulled the boat away from John, and soon he drifted out of sight.
But he was going to fly to Maine.
Yeah.
Was it a seaplane?
No,
Did he see a plane?
there was no plane.
But right. So he just had lost his marbles there
Yeah.
from
Yep.
Wow.
Just from the salt.
And he survives? Or is that to be a twist later, hopefully?
Well, from Boston Mag again, across the empty expanse of the ocean, Kavanagh could hear Lippoth's last howls as the sharks attacked.
Oh, my
No.
God.
No. Oh, wow. I just thought he was just going to, quickly drown because he's sort of lost his mind.
No,
He was eaten.
Jeez. I mean, in some ways, is that better or worse? I don't know.
I don't know.
You
I'd
want it to
rather
be quick.
quickly drown. I think.
Drowns meant Have I heard that right? Drowning's actually a pretty peaceful way to go.
Apparently, but I don't like the idea of
I
it.
would take it over 4 sharks pulling you apart.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
if they get you apart real quick, I guess.
Yeah, then it'd be quick. Who knows? But horrendous.
Being
that's
delirious
bad.
is probably a good starting point
Maybe,
at least,
yeah.
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, so which guy was this?
John, the captain.
That's the captain. El
Yeah.
Capitano is gone.
And so now there's 4 of them remaining, floating in the middle of the
I must say
ocean.
that I took for granted too much the can't believe we're still alive thing that you said before. I assumed that they all survived, but not. I'm
the
starting to think
show.
John probably
Not part of the
The
wasn't
cast.
show I
featured on
shouldn't
that.
be alive. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get
It's
you.
not I. It's not we shouldn't be alive.
Yeah, it's I.
Yes.
Only one has to make it.
I was cocky. I'll say that.
Yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah,
cocky
yeah.
after that this was a survival tale.
And look, in some ways it is.
4 to go.
Yeah. So the remaining 4 are there. They're in the middle of the ocean. They're lost. They're losing hope.
And that's not good for morale, is it? Your
And-
captain's just been eaten by a shark.
Meg is John's
No.
girlfriend. So her boyfriend's just been eaten by a shark.
Oh, Meg.
Right. But
Um,
in a practical sense, I guess it's one less person in the boat.
Yeah, I don't
You're
know.
looking for a silver lining.
And I think,
But it's not like it's not like they're taking up supplies. There's no supplies to begin with.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
they're taking up some space. They can spread out a little more now, I guess.
This leg room is fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, now you wouldn't want to even eat the sharks if you could, because you don't. Then you'd be eating
Yeah,
John.
that'd feel weird.
Yeah, so it would feel disrespectful.
And remember, Mark was drinking seawater as well.
Right.
So he's pretty delirious too. Apparently, he was like hitting on Meg, whose boyfriend had just died,
inappropriate.
proposing that sex would cheer her up on a boat, on a tiny dinghy. There's no space, mate.
God.
And she obviously rebuffed, and so he decided to take his party elsewhere. That's Kevin. Kevin's great writing. Great, Kavanagh recalls him saying, "If we're not going to have sex, I'm going back to 7-Eleven to get some beers and cigarettes." "You're not going," Brad said. "We're out in the middle of the ocean." I know. I'm just going to hang over the side and stretch out a little bit. I'll get back in the boat." Brad turned to speak to Debbie, and by the time he turned back, Mark was gone. So Mark's gone too.
The seawater was.
So he just gone
was
over the edge and then floated away.
Slippery slope. But they were the two guys.
Same as John.
Oh, sharks again.
Sharks again.
So they're nearby.
Yes.
Jeez. Hopefully they're full now.
And well,
True.
you
You know, like-
would hope so, but the 3
Because
remaining
otherwise they're getting a taste for. They would be very aware of where
Yeah, let's just keep following
more
this
meals
thing.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck.
Well,
hell.
yeah, the 3 remaining castaways spent the rest of the evening being knocked around as the sharks bumped and prodded the
Oh my
boat.
god. How strong is this boat? It's like
It's an inflated dinghy.
yeah, so it feels like it's a shark could tear through it.
If it wanted to, it could bite it or something. Yeah. So 2 were gone quite quickly.
That is grim.
Yeah. So that night, Meg was particularly unwell, the effects of her infection taking over her body. At one point, she was speaking in tongues. In the morning, Brad and Debbie woke to find Meg lying on her back, arms outstretched, staring at the sky. She'd been dead for a few hours, they guessed.
Oh.
It was the infection that killed her.
Oh my gosh.
Brad and Debbie removed Meg's shirt so they'd have another layer to keep warm, and her jewellery so they could return it to her family. They still hoped that they would have that chance. And then they pushed her body off the raft.
Right, just because it was yeah, right.
I mean, otherwise, what are you going to have? Sit there all day in the sun, the next
Yeah.
few days of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thinking of the family. Yeah, that is
Horrendous.
what a decision I have to make.
I know.
Awful.
And they're not
not thinking-
No.
They're thinking it's a matter of time for us too, probably.
This is I think day 5.
Yeah.
They haven't eaten, they haven't had water. They're so weak, they're so sick themselves. You're
fact
not
that-
thinking.
But them sleeping through the night is nice at least.
I know, but it's
because at least they're getting some rest.
You're right about Brad being like that running into her on the dock
What a
changed his life.
nightmare,
If he
yeah.
just hadn't have run into her, she would have called the sister and maybe it would be a different story.
Yeah.
So many things change.
they had to
in
wait
that
for Sarah to
reality.
get there, so
Yeah.
they left a few days later when the weather was better. Who knows?
Oh
yeah,
my
so many little
God.
things that just
The kind of things that you would hate to have to run through in your mind over
Yeah.
and over again.
Yeah.
Which is why can't
And when the weather started to turn bad, they realized that the captain didn't have charts for like the closest bay or like area they could get
he
to.
was really
So he was underprepared. So then that's why they had to call the Coast Guard to send somebody out to sort of guide them in. if they just had the charts when the weather got really bad, they could have turned and just
Right.
docked somewhere, but they didn't have that. Like, it was a whole bunch of things that
This
went
is
wrong.
why Brad was annoyed.
He was just annoyed that, like, Mark and John had been just drinking the whole time, so they weren't doing their jobs properly. So he and Debbie were always having to, like, pick up the
Right.
slack. And he was the youngest and the least experienced, but he's sort of like, none of you are fucking doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Hard not to think that, drinking on the job probably
Yeah.
wouldn't have helped either.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, in my head, I think I missed that. But the fact that it was the captain who was one of the guys
Yeah.
who was drunk.
Yeah, it wasn't when they arrived for the first time on the boat. He was passed out,
Yeah.
wasn't he? The captain.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
So he was a big
He's a
drinker.
salty old sea dog.
But he was
That's
like he was
a bit
like
of a-
23. Oh, he was.
Oh,
They were
right.
all young. They were
Right.
even the
all-
captain's young.
They
I'm
were
imagining
all
him-
like early mid-20s.
I'm imagining the
Right.
captain is like, like a 60-year-old
Yes.
veteran.
No.
Who's just become an alcoholic.
Going down with the ship. Yeah.
They're all just kids, and that's why like Meg's just young.
Oh,
Her
my
boyfriend's
God.
sailing this yacht.
That's what I told you. It's like an awesome reality show.
Yeah. I know.
I get this. As it's gone on, it feels more like a reality show to me.
Yeah.
It's such a wild
They
story.
keep
Yeah.
getting voted off
It's-
one by one.
It feels like the plot of like a horror movie,
Yes.
and I hate those kind of movies. But it was just like such a fucking amazing story that it just kept going. Oh, anyway. So 3 of them have died within a fairly short period of time, really. So now it's just Brad and Debbie left in the dinghy. They were starving, exhausted, dehydrated, covered in sores, like I was saying before. Debbie was concerned that they were sitting in infected water in the dinghy because Meg had just died from her infection, and she's like, "Oh, we need to flip the boat and rinse it out."
Because salt water is good. Is it a good disinfectant? Am I making that up?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so,
It's
yeah.
good for cuts and stuff, though,
Yeah,
don't they?
yeah.
So hopefully that could help. But yeah, those sharks aren't far away as well.
I know.
So all that in the back of your mind. But it makes it. And the other thing is, of course, not it's so awful for everyone. But it is interesting that the 2 most diligent members of the team are the 2 that have survived.
Yeah.
Not that anyone else is expecting a disaster.
And
to happen.
Debbie's like an extremely experienced sailor, isn't she?
Yeah.
Like sailed across the world.
But she's also
she's
24.
yeah,
but
but
has
like,
would have dealt with all sorts of awful conditions.
yeah.
But normally in an upright yacht.
yeah.
Yes.
But like probably sat out all night, wet and cold, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would be there going, I just reckon I'll jump in, get out of
Yeah.
the way.
I would imagine that the majority of people just landed in that situation would be dead by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Sure.
It's like, how do you survive? It's awful, every element of it. But
Yep.
there's just the mental toughness of them
Yeah,
is crazy.
yeah.
But the physical, all of that,
Oof.
I don't think many would have survived day 5.
Yeah. And so, yeah, Debbie's sort of pushing to like flip the boat and clean it out. But Brad kind of initially pushes back because he's like, I don't have the energy. I can't do it by myself. I'm just too weak and tired. But she kept sort of pushing. So he reluctantly agrees to try.
She wasn't going to, why wouldn't she help?
Maybe she would. I don't know. But he was sort of like, it was used to be him and Mark doing it.
Right.
Maybe Debbie's smaller. So he's standing on the edge of the Zodiac. He tugged the wire, tried to flip it, but he didn't have the strength to do it. As he gave it another tug, he lost his balance
Oh, no.
and fell into the water. And this is the first time he truly felt panic because this entire time, everybody else has been panicking. He's been trying to stay really calm, but he panicked because in the last maybe 15 hours, every time someone ended up in the water, they were eaten by sharks.
Yes.
So he tried to get back on the boat. He didn't have the strength. Debbie tried to help, also didn't have the strength, and was so overcome with emotion that she sat sobbing uncontrollably on the other side of the raft, paralyzed. Remember, they are unwell, both of them at this time. He yelled at her to help, but she couldn't, and eventually he managed to muster the strength and will himself over the side of the dinghy.
Oh, thank goodness.
He got back in. He was winded, he was exhausted, he was seething. He was so mad. This is from Kevin again. The entire time, from when they were on the Trashman with a drunken crewmate, during the storm and throughout their harrowing journey on the Zodiac, Scaling and Kavanagh had upheld a pact to look out for each other, to protect each other from the sharks, the madness, the others. How could she have left him there in the water? How could she have let him down? They were supposed to be a team. Now on their 5th day without food or water, he couldn't even look at her. There were 2 of them left, but he felt alone.
Ooh.
He's pissed. And she's just inconsolable. Like, and I understand both of them.
Did was he able to clean the boat or that? I don't fully understand.
no, I
How
guess
do
I
you
had
clean the boat if she's not getting out? I
Yeah, I
can't
don't
quite
know.
picture it.
I'm not sure how that was working that time. Unsure. So they sat in cold, uncomfortable silence until Brad saw something in the distance. A ship. Now, it wasn't the first ship they'd seen in the 5 days. They'd seen a few. But,
Really?
But the others had been too far away or it had been too dark for them to be seen. And again, they don't have that emergency kit, which would have flares, which would have beacons, which would have lights, something to attract attention. They didn't have any of that. So in the dark, they would see the lights of a ship. But if the ship can't see them,
No hope.
there's no hope.
And this is all the kit that went down with the boat
Yeah.
that they couldn't release.
Yep.
I reckon they've probably fixed that up since then.
It had rations in it. It had water, but also, stuff that you could use to make seawater drinkable.
Had a slab of beer.
It had a slab of beer.
Deck
It
of
had
ciggies.
deck of cards.
And a deck of cards.
Keep you occupied. Had sunscreen. So
Had a costume box,
They'd seen
so you could
ships.
dress up.
Yeah,
Had somewhere to piss.
somewhere to piss.
Have
Had
to
a
piss in the
toilet. It was
boat.
beautiful,
Inflatable
actually.
toilet.
It was gorgeous. So anyway, but this time it was close, and Brad could see someone on the deck, and he waved, and the guy waved back.
Hey,
So he's like,
hope you're having a good one.
I know we can be seen this time. Crew members threw lines with large glass buoys or buoys.
Glass
Silly.
buoys.
I know. I couldn't picture that. But they all landed short, splashing in the water too far away. Undeterred, the men on deck pulled the rescue buoys back and tried again. Brad, for his part, couldn't move. I'm not going anywhere, he told Scaling. It felt as if every muscle had gone limp. He had nothing left after spending days balancing the boat, flipping it, pulling it, and watching his crewmates die. The ship made another turn, closer. The men aboard threw the lines again. Scaling jumped into the water and started swimming.
Oh,
Debbie's
wow.
just like, I'm going for it.
See you, Brad.
Found her energy now.
Seeing his crewmate in the water was all the motivation Brad needed. Fuck it, he told himself. Here I go. He rolled overboard and managed to grab a line, letting the crew reel his weakened body in and hoist him up on the deck along with Debbie.
They made it.
They made it.
Wow.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
Mm.
They quickly realized that their saviors were Russian, and this is at the height of the Cold War. The US Coast Guard never came to save them, but ice traders on a Soviet vessel did. And they were like, I don't care where they're from. They just saved my life. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, they said, "Hey, thank you, comrades," and
Now they're both...
they're both high up in the KGB.
So in the 5 days that the crew had been stuck in the dinghy, they had drifted 140 miles or 225 Ks from where the yacht had sunk.
Wow. And they'd just gone east away from land, had they?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
So if the other ships had turned up to help them, there was nothing there.
Hey, they're not here. I guess they saved themselves.
Well, apparently there was and I'll get to it later. There's still a bit of confusion as to why the sort of rescue call why it was called off. But apparently there was a call made to Fort Lauderdale, where they were heading to, that they had arrived. And so everyone's like, oh, okay, they arrived. But they didn't. So
That's
they're like, yeah, Trashman's arrived, but it hasn't.
That's a fuck up.
So
that's I hope someone got fired for that blunder.
Yeah.
So the Russian crew gave Brad and Debbie dry clothes, medical attention, and food and water. They contacted the US Coast Guard, who arrived that night to take Brad and Debbie to hospital. The temperature that night dropped down into the 30s in Fahrenheit, so around 0 degrees.
Oh,
So it would have been impossible for Brad and Debbie to survive the night in the dinghy.
okay. So just by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah.
Oh wow, they shouldn't be alive.
And it seems like when they... at the point that they were found, like the other three had all died like the day before. It's like it was
So they could
close.
have almost been all saved.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? So Brad and Debbie made full recoveries, thankfully. Brad soon returned home to Massachusetts and once again felt the need to keep busy. He immediately started taking odd jobs in hopes of earning enough cash to begin traveling to sailboat races again.
Really?
Yeah.
Gosh, I'd be avoiding the ocean forever.
I know.
But also, he must feel like he could deal with anything now.
All right. Yeah. I suppose so.
Yeah. Debbie continued to sail as well. She wrote an account of the incident called Albatross, the true story of a woman's survival at sea in 1994. So it's like 12 years later, which became it was made into a TV
Again,
film.
she leaves Brad off. A woman's survival. Brad's like, I'm
Are
right
you
here.
kidding me?
I survived as well.
You'd
no
be
thanks to
dead
you.
without me. It was made into a TV film called Two Came Back. I tried to find
Spoiler.
Albatross. It was pretty. Yeah, it was really hard to. I couldn't find a copy of it at all, or like I could find a hardback for $170
Isn't that,
or something.
It's wild the difference on you find. Yeah, in researching previous topics, I find it a softback $3.50, or
Yeah.
$20.
Yeah.
Hardback $2 million.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess there's fewer of them, and
Couldn't find this anywhere. Like, definitely no ebook version, or like, yeah, couldn't find it at all. So I would have liked to have read it, because the article that Kevin wrote is fantastic, but it's largely from an interview with Brad. So it's sort of Brad's perspective. But then I watched I Shouldn't Be Alive, and it seems like most of it lines up. Debbie's sort of saying the same thing.
Do they speak about each other at all?
Yeah, they do. Like,
Is it like long-held animosity because of the incident?
I'll get to that.
Oh.
because of that's interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing, but I'm half thinking he'd be like, we were both in a real tough spot.
Yeah.
We were dying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was upset more than maybe I should have been, but like, how do you know? You can't. I think you got to forgive yourself.
Both of their reactions are very reasonable given the circumstances
Yeah.
they were in.
They're
Very
just
unreasonable circumstances.
watch three
yeah.
people die, and they're
Yeah.
5 days since they've eaten anything.
And what are the chances of a ship being in that exact spot
Mm.
and being able to sit? Like, ridiculous. So they got really lucky. Debbie became a motivational speaker. She was on Larry King Live. Pretty fun.
Whoa.
And she published another book called No Victims, Only Survivors in 2006 about lessons for surviving. So she'd sort of go around speaking about what happened to her and how to, probably around the mindset of survival. A few months after the horrific incident, Brad flew to Fort Lauderdale for the Southern Ocean Racing Conference season. He was hoping to see Debbie, I believe, for the first time since their rescue. I was going to leave this out, but he was going to see her to tell her he loved her,
oh.
is what he said in the article, which I think is a bit of like, you're mixing up the feelings of having gone through something so horrific and awful together. I'm not sure that you love her, but I don't know. But anyway, so he goes there. They haven't seen each other since. Pacing the docks, he eventually spotted her, and he was relieved to see her fit and well. This is from Kevin again. He moved towards her to speak, but the mere sight of Brad made Debbie recoil, reminding her of the horrors that she'd suffered at sea while in the Zodiac. "I'm sorry, but I can't be around you," he recalls her saying. "I don't want you to have anything to do with me. Please leave me alone."
Wow.
She couldn't handle seeing
They
him.
are very different responses.
Really different
to it.
responses. So he was hurt by that, but he retreated. And then he did what he's always done. He walked the docks, banging on boats until he found someone that would hire him, and he went back out to work.
His resume is pretty good now. I would have thought.
Or they're like, this guy is unlucky.
Oh, yeah. The curse.
Yeah.
Very
Do you
suspicious.
want to hide the jinx?
Yeah.
Well, they both continued to sail, and they ran in similar circles, so they did see each other a bit, but it was pretty painful for both of them.
Gosh, it would be for like you said, two different reactions, two different reasons
Yeah,
to
yeah.
not want to see the other.
Yeah, ideally it's both the same, one way or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was pretty tough.
I
But
can't see you because I love you. I can't see you because you detest me.
Yeah,
You make me feel
you make me-
scared.
feel awful. Debbie married twice. She had 2 children. In 2009, tragically, her son drowned in a sailing
Oh,
accident.
my God.
Debbie.
And 3 years later, in August of 2012, at the age of 54, Debbie passed away from an undisclosed cause in Mexico, where she'd just moved. Brad was obviously very sad to hear of Debbie's passing, and so he's now the last one left. He's the lone survivor. Several years later, Debbie's daughter gave Brad a frame. Inside was a neatly coiled metal wire, the same one Brad had rigged up to suspend their shivering bodies under the Zodiac and flip the boat to keep it clean. It was what had kept them both alive. Unbeknownst to him, Debbie had retrieved it after the dinghy was found still floating in the ocean. She framed it and hung it on a wall, keeping it close all those years.
Wow.
And the daughter must be like, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't exist.
Yeah. So I hope that gave him a little bit of closure.
Yeah.
But this is sort of the end of Kevin's really great article. You can read the whole thing. It's links in the show notes, but this is how he sums it up. Brad remains hell-bent on learning why the Coast Guard never showed up in the aftermath of that fateful storm. He has documents and photos from the official case file after the sinking of the Trashman, but they give few, if any, clues. He's spent decades trying to figure out what happened, and now that he's the only crew member alive, he's even more determined to find the truth. He wants to know how rescuers forgot about him and his crewmates, and why. Haunted by his memories, he is driven up and down the East Coast, stopping at bases and looking for anyone to speak to him about the incident.
Oh my God.
He is still adrift, nearly 40 years later, still searching for answers. It's pretty wild.
Wow.
He's married, has kids, like he's, apart from, chasing down these answers, I think he's still lived a pretty full life.
Yeah.
But
obviously some of it's stayed with him forever.
Of
As
course,
an incident
how could
that
it not?
big would, yeah.
And yeah, just the frustration of like, what happened that you forgot about us?
Man, I hope we have that run continues of us putting out an episode and then some news or some closure coming.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously just a bias that we notice these things.
Of course, but it's fun.
Listeners point it out sometimes, like, oh, it's happened again.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he finds proper closure.
Yeah. But that's the story of the sinking of the Trashman.
Oh,
and I don't know whether I call the episode the sinking of the Trashman or if I make it something a bit more mysterious so it doesn't give away that ship's going down.
It
It goes down pretty quickly in the
that's
story.
right. And from then on, the story is really what happens afterwards.
Yeah.
And what an incredible story it is.
Isn't that wild? There was I think in 2019, a TV movie starring Josh Duhamel. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called.
Oh, no, Josh Jamal from Las Vegas?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember him.
He's the captain. So they made it into like a TV movie, loosely but quite clearly based on this.
I made everyone hot.
They were all hot. But Josh Duhamel is not 24. So, okay, you're fooling nobody. But yeah, it's been used a little bit. And yeah, Debbie's written a couple of books. But they're using heaps and heaps and heaps on it, actually. So, I really appreciate that article written by Kevin that was published in Boston Magazine because it was a very helpful resource for telling this wild story.
Cheers,
Great.
Kevin, if you're listening.
Thank you, Kevin.
Cheers to you, Kevin. Cheers to the two people that suggested this topic.
Yeah.
I am amazed that after 8.5 years that every week there's often a story that I'm like, oh, that's one of the most amazing stories I've ever heard. I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
How have I never heard of that?
Do you remember, we used to be like a bit of a semi-regularly, the ones that would come up would be murderers. And we don't have that many murderers anymore, but we're having a lot of ocean disasters lately.
Yeah.
Or rescues and whatnot.
Yep.
Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah,
it feels
yeah.
like they've become more of a thing.
And I hate it. I don't trust the ocean.
How many we done? We done the submarine one.
Yep.
Titanic, that was a while ago.
We had Chris Lemons a little while ago too,
Oh,
late
yeah.
last year. That was a
the
bonus
Costa
episode.
Concordia.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I've got to say, Jess's bonus episode on the Chris Lemons diving incident is well worth subscribing to the Patreon for. If you like this episode, it's very similar, well told.
Thank you, Dave.
And I wasn't on it as well, so if I'm
So it's
more
good.
annoying,
If Matt's
am
the
I
problem.
the problem for you, then that's a great one to
Then
listen
you'll
to.
love it, yeah. Matt was
I
off
mean,
having a well-earned holiday.
But with that,
Okay.
with that,
You think you can just take off, do you? By the way, I need 6 weeks off in July.
I
Thank
was
you.
fine.
but without you, Matt, we wouldn't have had Brad Pierce. So
Oh my god, that's the hardest I've ever seen you laugh.
I thought
I
I was.
so too. I don't that. Yeah, that felt good.
Yeah,
Like, you know when you don't realize. I've seen you laugh a lot.
Yeah,
I thought. I laugh pretty consistently. I think.
yeah,
Ever since you told me I don't laugh enough.
yeah. Now you laugh.
I've
You've taken on notes.
I opened myself up to the laugh.
Yes.
But Dave doesn't laugh.
No, Dave laughs, but
I laugh a lot.
Actually,
but
can
just
I-
not that to that level. Because if
Yeah.
I reckon if I did that every week, I would shorten my life.
you're a
felt
good
sick.
laugher. And I was listening back to the episode from a couple of weeks ago of the Scream, Theft of the Scream,
Oh, the live
the
one.
live
yeah.
one, and it's so cute because in parts you could just hear little Dave going.
Right into the mic.
Oh yeah, that is
It's
a good
so
Dave laugh.
cute.
I was
guy-
thinking of his being like, I can't do it, but it's sort of like a ha ha. But
Ah!
Yes, like that.
Like that.
Mm.
I know it's hard to do an impression.
that's real
It's
Davey.
really cute. It's adorable. Go listen to
Before
it.
we went on the Adrian, the techie recorder that did say, I don't want to tell you how to do your job, but like the closer you get the mic, the easier it is for me. So I really took that to heart. So even when I was
Yeah.
laughing, I'm just like eating the microphone.
He did not say that to me.
And then at the end, he said to me, well, "To be honest," I said, "How'd it go?" And he goes, "To be honest, you were a little too hot at the start, so
Okay.
can't get it right."
Can't win.
What a beautiful and tragic and everything tale that was, Bob.
Yeah, when the Patreons voted for that one.
Oh yeah, did you have a theme or something, or were you just like the stories that had grabbed your attention?
Yeah, I was looking through Jack the Hat McVitie. There's a link in the show notes if you want to suggest a topic. Anybody can. You don't have to, be a subscriber or anything. So yeah, that's where we get most of our topics from. So I was having a little bit of a look through, and there was a few that kind of grabbed me, but they were all very different. A couple of the others were more sort of like a biography of an interesting person. But they voted for this, and I think they voted really well because I was reading that main article that I referenced today. Just like it was gripping. You kind of like, oh no, the yacht's gone down. They're stuck with nothing. Oh my god, one of them's dead. Two of them, three of them dead. Oh my god,
just sharks right there.
Isn't that terrifying? Ugh.
It's just a amazing, harrowing.
Yeah.
What a story. And again, yeah, like Dave said, wild that there's still these stories. You're like, how have I
we
not
never
heard
heard
of
that?
How's
Yeah.
that not a household story?
Well, it probably is for them.
Yeah. You're all right, Brad. We get it. We know what you did.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, well, that brings us up to the section. And Jess said you don't have to be a supporter to suggest topics, but you can be a supporter if you just want to support. There's all sorts of levels. From the lowest level where you can vote on topics, you get into the Facebook group, which is the nicest corner of the internet. And you can still, if you're in there, you get it. You get all the other things like hearing about live shows first, discounted tickets, all that sort of stuff. And then there's a bunch of different levels, including a shout out level. There's the level where you can get 3 bonus episodes a month, soon to be 4 bonus episodes a month. And another level, which is a Sydney Scheinberg level, where you get all those things. Plus, you get to give us a fact or quote or a question in a section of the show we like to call Fact, Quote, or Question. Has a little jingle, goes something like this.
Fact, quote, or question.
Ding.
Huh, he always remembers the ding. Huh, she always remembers the sing. And the way this section works, if you are on the Sydney Scheinberg level, you get to give us a fact, quote, question, brag, or a suggestion. You also get to give yourself a title. First up this week, we've got one from Henry T. Wilhoit, and Henry has got the title of Vice President of Day Drinking.
Oh, you're hanging out with that captain.
Yeah, I was going to say day drink that's my favourite kind of drinking, but mainly because you just get to bed early.
Yeah, I love that. And then you sleep through the hangover.
Yeah, get a full sleep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love a full sleep.
But also,
As I age, I love a full sleep.
Love a
live
full
for,
sleep.
Live for a full sleep.
what I also love is drinking responsibly.
That's right. Yes.
And all day and all night. Drinking
What-
responsibly.
what-
Drinking responsibly all day and all night.
Yeah, okay.
No matter when you are, where you are, when you are.
You're being
Yeah.
responsible when you're drinking.
Yeah,
Exactly. If you
that's
want-
all.
Agree.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
no,
do you
hey,
think
mate,
it's-
mate.
Is your
We're
problem
on the same
with-
bloody page
it
here,
is-
mate.
There's a problem with people being responsible all day long and then being
Is that your
responsible
problem?
all night long.
That's not my problem. I'm just worried about some of the people listening are like, they're going to twist your
Yeah, we've
words.
got a couple of prudes. All right. All right. Go away, prude.
Yeah. Well, 50% of our audience are prudes, 50% are pervs. Which one are you? Let us know on our social media. Oh, we haven't really asked this for a while, but social media, follow us. We've got way less followers than listeners.
Yes.
Do go on pod.
Never quite balanced out.
It's because we're old and we're not like hot young things on Instagram. We don't know what we're doing.
We got to
But
get
we
our
got
tits out more.
We got to get our tits out. I've been saying that to you boys for years.
Well, I'm finally up for it.
Okay, great. So if
Mine
you
are
follow
really
us,
starting to come in.
let's set a goal, and if we hit that many followers, you get your tits out.
Okay. Oh, no, I didn't mean all the way out. I'll hide the nips. More like this.
Of course.
Yeah,
Tasteful.
we don't want to get
Tasteful.
banned.
Tasteful nudes.
Yes,
Yep.
but accurate.
But we've got to...
Accurate news.
Yeah, accurate news. We've got to hit like 20,000 plus on Instagram.
Yeah,
and
before
I'll
you
get
get the tits
I'll
out.
get Baps out.
Oh, we're gonna forget, and then somebody's gonna say, "Get your tits out," and we'll be like, "How dare
You're
you?"
discussing.
You're block.
What, get the hashtag going. Baps out at 20,000.
Yeah. You just clip out this bit of audio, we'll remember. So we've got 2 facts, quotes, and or questions this week. The first one from Henry, Vice President of Day Drinking, has a suggestion. Henry's suggestion is You guys have mentioned a few times that one of the working titles for your pod was It Starts With a Question.
Yes. Sorry, it's embarrassing. It should be Get On With It.
Get on with it, you dickhead, you toilet.
Oh, fucking toilet.
That was, I don't think it ever got to working title stage. It was just on a list of
long list.
ideas that Dave had. But anyway.
It's the most cringy that stayed with us. That's why.
Henry says, which I think we can all agree sucks.
Okay, yeah, good to know Henry's on board.
Henry,
yes,
thank
we
you
agree.
so much.
In brackets, sorry.
No,
Or
I don't apologise.
For Americans listening, the equivalent of rubbish is trash. The equivalent of brackets is parentheses.
Ah, of course.
It's a beautiful language over there.
I love it.
I wish we took on more of their words. And of course, nearly every third word I say would have an American origin. Anyway, I was thinking you guys should do a bonus ep in an alternate reality version of your pod where that was the title you went with. I think you could get some good mileage, brackets, kilometerage.
That's good stuff.
He's done the reverse for us there.
Nice.
Of extra dog shit. I have extra dog shit riffs out of the concept. That what threw me there is he thinks we're saying dog shit riffs with a T on
Oh,
Gotcha.
we're
Which is
saying
interesting.
riffs double F.
there. Isn't that interesting? He thinks they're little tiffs we're having, little fights.
No, we're not
dog
having-
shit rifts.
Oh, falling out over the dog shit.
I
We
guess
keep our
so.
dog shit rifts off pod.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
We feud in our own time.
Our
exactly.
riffs are where we all come together
That's right.
until Jess is bored with it and we move on
That's right.
together.
I'm a delight. You're so lucky to work with me. And that's the thing. In an alternate universe, you didn't.
That's right. In that alternate universe, me and Dave dog shit riff, and
Yeah.
no one ever tells us stop.
Shut up.
Yeah, we're still going in that alternate universe.
They only say it with their eyes, which is honestly, it's a service you're providing to the listeners.
Yes.
Honestly.
I think you guys should be.
Honestly.
I'm really quite polite to so many other people. And with you guys, I don't know, it just comes out. I
think
shut up.
You get to be yourself.
Yeah, it's a comfort thing, right?
Show your awful,
course.
awful self.
Yeah, my awful, awful self. Shut up, you dogs.
Get it up, Yoda.
He finishes by saying, "Please forgive any typos. Please forgive any typos / grammar errors in this question. For clarification, please see my listener title." Oh, day drinking.
Day drinking.
Oh, riffs/rifts.
So maybe that was just a
But maybe
typo.
that's an American thing. Like in America, they call them guitar riffs. Take it away. Show us your best rift.
Do they?
I do not think so.
Okay, you were being funny.
Yeah.
And I misunderstood.
First time for everything. Me being funny and you understanding.
You are very funny, and I say that all the time, and you say bit patronising. But I'm just like, wow, that was funny.
How did you get so funny? No, I can confirm it is
Riffs. And that's what we're talking about, riffs. So the question is what? Do a
no
bonus
suggestion.
episode. Do a bonus episode.
Called It Starts With a Question.
Love it. And so
We should, if we were going to do one, because that would just be the same show. We do still start with a question. It'd be funnier to do the one that was, what was it? Short Tales or whatever?
Short report.
Short Report.
That was
And
another on
we
the
do it with a
list.
timer.
Oh, I like that.
Which apparently,
We
listening
did.
back to the first bonus episode, I had a timer going because I wanted to keep it for 30 minutes or under.
We should do it. We should bring that back one time.
I agree.
Today we recorded a Phrasing the Bar on The Whale, which is out by the time you hear this.
Yeah.
And it went for 90 minutes discussing 140 minute?
No, it's nearly a 2-hour film, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, no, it's about a 115-minute movie, so we almost got there.
All right. Final one of the fact quotes and questions this week comes from Michaela McRae, aka Brigadier General in the Feline Servitude Division. And Michaela, does that make sense?
No.
Servitude. I guess Brigadier General, we know what that means. It's right up top. That's
Yeah.
a high ranking
Of the what, sorry?
Feline Servitude Division.
Yeah. So a
She's
cat.
an underling of a cat.
Yeah, and anybody who has a cat knows they run the house.
You're the underling.
Who runs the house?
Cats.
Meow.
Michaela writes,
Dave, that was funny.
Thank you. Point it out every time. Maybe in the next few weeks you can say it again.
so Michaela writes, I've just listened to Michelle's report on guide dogs and the talk about other dog jobs and other animals with jobs. Cats, as we know, are difficult to train, but sometimes they choose to do a job without training. Two of my friends, Dave's, look, he's browsing online, if you're wondering why he's giggling.
Yeah. He's just got a funny text.
Just looked up cat piss.
Brad
No, I'm
Pierce.
laughing at the idea of a cat just choosing. I can't wait to hear what job a cat has chosen.
2 of my friends have cats that alert them when something is wrong. One alerts to seizures,
Wow.
and the other to low blood sugar.
Wow.
Neither were trained for this, but they do have very strong bonds with their people. And despite the reputation of being dumb as rocks, these amazing cats are both ginger. Are ginger cats meant to be?
Oh, I didn't know.
I hadn't heard
That
that.
they're dumb.
Yeah, is that cats or ginger cats, do you think?
I think maybe ginger cats, because I wouldn't have thought cats were unintelligent. I think cats are very smart.
Gingers always have weird stereotypes about them that are unfair.
And they're definitely not stupid,
No,
are they?
or quick to anger.
Or defensive in any way.
Okay, that's actually a better description of me.
Jess, stop dyeing your hair.
It's quick to anger,
Defensive.
defensive. Fuck off.
Fuck off, I'm not.
Like if I'm not defensive, you are. So if I may be so bold, can I ask that we raise a glass of whatever the Triptych Club is having today
Oh, boy.
to Blue and Willow?
I can tell you what we're going to be having, and it's going to be pretty good.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. To
Is it gonna be
Blue and
salty?
Willow.
I imagine it'll have a salty rim.
Oh, mugs.
They all would have had a salty rim after.
Oh.
What? Hang on. What do you mean?
Oi.
Oh, yeah, all right.
So we got to remember, Dave. Can you remember we're going to salute Blue and Willow when those drinks come
Blue
out?
and Willow. I'm fascinated by, I mean, you see dogs do it a lot, but it's interesting those cats can do it, alerting you to a medical episode. How do they do it? How do they know? Dog's like,
with
your blood
extra
pressure's low. What? But my dog's just like, I shit inside. And I'm like, can you not? And he's like,
Well, have you figured out what that means?
Oh, he's trying to tell me
He's
something.
trying to tell you something. Oh, it might not be blood sugar. Maybe you're,
He's telling me I need to poop.
But maybe there's something else, like you've never had a seizure in that apartment, to my
No.
knowledge.
Yeah.
Maybe his poo is somehow doing something.
Oh,
Just saying.
Yeah, the poo might mean you're not having a seizure.
I'll keep shitting until you have a seizure.
I'll let you know.
All
by
clear.
not
It's the
shitting.
all clear alarm. Everything is fine.
Oh, what a good boy.
Thank you so much to Michaela and Henry. And like I say, Sydney Scheinberg level, because they've dried up a little bit lately. There's plenty of people on that level, but if obviously no pressure. I don't want this to start feeling like you've got to homework.
Yeah.
But if you've got any facts, quotes, or questions, or really whatever you like, and you're either on the Scheinberg level or you want to sign up to it, get those in. If you need the link, feel free to DM me on Patreon. Or if you want to know anything, maybe you think, oh, I should have had my shout out by now. Anything like that, my DMs on Patreon are always open. That's the best place to contact us because, or the email, I guess. But the Patreon, I normally respond within a week or something.
That's pretty good.
Which, as I said, I'm like, this is a pretty low level brag here. Within a week. Sometimes really quickly, though. Sometimes I'm on there at the time. We just don't know. Comedy festival time, I'm a bit slower. So that brings us to the next part, Jess, where we shout out a few of our other great supporters. And normally you have a game based on the topic at hand.
Yeah, but it's quite a grim topic. Let's just name their boat.
Oh, yeah, great.
And the boat does not sink. Their boats don't sink.
Oh, is the boat named after how they made their fortune?
Yes.
Trashman is
Great.
Do you want to do it like we did last week where one of us comes up with all of them, one of us reads all the names out, and the other one gives us... How about this, right? One of us reads out the name, the other one says how they made their fortune, the third one names the boat
okay.
based on
Yep.
that job.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Do you want me to read out the names this week?
Yeah, you want to read out the names?
I came up with a few things last week.
Yeah, okay.
Just
Jess,
trying to-
you want to do the job or
Yes.
the boat?
Job.
Okay. And the boat's got to be semi-relevant to the job, I guess.
We'll see.
All right.
All right, let's kick it off. I would like to thank you for supporting us on Patreon. First of all, location unknown. Can only imagine they're deep within the fortunes of the moles. They're known by one single word, and that word is Dandow. Dandow.
Financial advisor.
Or financial advisor.
Their boat is called...
Cocaine fuckhead.
See what I mean? I was telling you this last week. He blanks out. His mind goes blank, and he comes out. I'm not joking. The stuff he comes up with is so good.
So you sort of become like a horse name generator in your own mind.
Yeah, we don't need the horse name generator anymore. All right, let's keep
Delete-
going.
if
I'll show you.
Dandow's-
I'll show you. He's really good.
Dandow's email address, if we won't dox them, but they might not want their name out there for a reason, but their initials CZ.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case.
Just in case.
They
And
forgot that
Dandau-
they'd put Dandau down.
Dandau. Thank you so much, Dandau.
Thank you.
I would like to thank now. I've actually seen this one when we were doing the shout outs last week, this location, and I'm kind of obsessed with it. I really want to visit now because one of my favorite town names I've come across in a long time from Utah, specifically Spanish Fork.
Oh,
That's
How
so good.
awesome is that?
That's
love
great.
it.
Courtney Lykanian. No. Sorry, let me say it again. Courtney Lekainen. Courtney Lehikainen.
I reckon you've absolutely nailed that.
One of those is spot
I'm
on,
hoping-
I
One of
reckon.
those is close.
If you've heard all its pronunciations, then AJ has failed us. I wanted him to edit out, listen up, look up the word, and then find the right one. No, obviously not. But it's Courtney
AJ has failed us.
Lehikainen, if I'm sounding it out. But you're from Spanish Fork. Officially, my favorite place in all of
Incredible.
Utah.
That's really good.
I'll go on the...
And Courtney made their money as a chef,
Chef.
restaurateur.
Small noodle. The small noodle.
That's good. That is... Would you be honest? Would you rather get on the trash man or the small noodle?
I'd be getting on the small noodle.
Small noodle.
I'd be getting on the small noodle. That's good stuff.
I was, the chefs make little portions.
Oh, I got it. And you nailed it. It's very good. Okay, Dave, let's keep it going. He's on fire.
He's on fire. Sorry, I'm back on the Spanish Fork.
While he's hot.
Wiki page. Sorry, I'm obsessed with it.
Okay, you're going to have to bookmark it. Read that in your own time.
Can't wait to look up Spanish
We're
Fork.
at work. Technically. Isn't that ridiculous?
It is
This
so
work
ridiculous,
for us.
as I say.
Matt's just coming up with names of boats, and this is our job?
This
Come
is
on.
another person located deep within the Fortress of the Moles. We can only assume. And they're also one name, and that is just Nick. N-I-C. Possibly surname starting with T if we wanted to give you another clue of who you are in case you don't know. N-I-C, Nick is the name you've given us.
News reporter.
And this just in.
That's good too.
HMAS. This just in.
Yeah, that's good.
That is really good.
That's really good.
Keep it going. Keep it
And then,
going.
like on the side of the boat, there's like a photo of Sandra Sully or
No,
something.
don't add to it.
Sorry.
You'll bring him out of it.
Sorry. From Pakenham here in Victoria, thank you to Ashley Wainwright.
Ashley Wainwright is a police officer.
You're nicked.
Yes.
That's great.
Good.
You're Nick. I'd like to thank from Edinburgh in Scotland. It's one name again, Maeve.
A bagpipist, but like best in the world.
Yeah, like top one.
The toot toot toot.
Could it be like a toot toot honk?
Oh yeah, that's it. The toot toot honk.
Hello, Coast Guard. This is Dave Wonky, captain of the Toot Toot Honk. Just we're having a bit of trouble out here.
Toot toot honk. Mayday, mayday, the toot toot honk is going down.
So is that part of the Mayday? But what's your boat called? Toot
Toot Toot Honk.
Although we heard
Are
the
you
Mayday.
okay?
We heard the Mayday.
Toot toot.
I'd like to thank from Blakeview in the Australian Capital Territory. It's Bethany Stoll Mentis.
The ACT.
Wow.
Clown.
Professional clown.
The big top.
Oh!
That's great too.
That is good.
Fuck,
Like one of Cirque du Soleil's best clowns. Of course, they got a fucking boat. Kidding
Yeah.
me? I've paid tickets to see them. Expensive. Those guys are killing it.
Oh,
I've paid tickets to
I've
see
paid
him.
tickets to see them.
Oh my god, you seen their new act? They just roll around on the floor in a bunch of cash.
Beautiful.
It's really impressive. From Reading in, I believe, Massachusetts, Jenny Petty. They might say reading.
Jenny Petty is a romance novelist.
Oh. Rock firm appendage.
Rock firm.
He withdrew his rock firm appendage.
It's not rock hard. It's rock firm. Rock firm.
Babe,
Come here, baby. I am rock firm.
I'm rock firm and ready to go.
Firm does feel like a step down from hard.
It's the same.
Rock firm.
That's pretty. Poke that. That's pretty firm.
That's the same as saying boiling warm.
Rock firm.
I'm rock
Oh
firm
my
right now.
god, you look ravishing. I am rock firm.
Welcome aboard the SS Rock Firm appendage.
Couple more. All right.
Okay, two to go from Waterloo, New South Wales. Thank you to, and just the initials here, LQ.
LQ. IT.
Hello, this is LQ from IT.
The on and off.
Oh,
God, he doesn't
but
miss.
it's written all as one word.
Yeah, yeah.
On and off.
The on and off.
Oh, that's
People are
good.
like, what is that, Russian? No, I'm in IT.
That's fucking good. That's funny.
That's really good.
That's good stuff.
And finally, I would like to thank from Card Ross in the greatest of Britons.
Hard Ross or firm Ross?
It's
Card
Card. I'm
Ross.
sorry.
You know, but you know where I was going. It's pretty
very
funny.
good, very good, very,
Thank
very
you
good.
so much.
And thank you to dedicate that fantastic joke to Jared Cordner.
Jared Cordner, of course, famously a quarterback in gridiron
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
football, American football.
The hut honk.
Yes,
You know how they say hut hut hut,
Yeah.
and then
and they
Toss
throw
it?
it. Yeah,
they used to in movies. I don't know if they actually said
7, 6, 11, 41.
hut hut hut
yep.
honk.
The honk is unrelated, but it is fun.
That's fun. And thank you again to Jared, LQ, Jenny, Bethany, Maeve, Ashley, Nick, Courtney, and Dan Dow. We appreciate you so very much.
Because it wouldn't have made sense, but I reckon a good name for a boat would be the wide receiver, which is like who they throw it to.
Oh, I like
that's
that.
a good one.
But it would be a weird name for a quarterback.
Yeah.
Unless he was like, hey, they're the ones who really made me all this money.
Yeah, I dedicate
Dedicate this
this
to all my wide receivers.
Yeah.
boat. You know who you are.
Yeah. Not by name.
Yeah, I can't remember who you are.
Yeah, I think it
Too
was number
many.
22.
Hut, hut, hut.
Thank you so much to Jared, LQ, Jenny, Bethany, Maeve, Ashley, Nick, Courtney, and Dandow.
I love the name Maeve.
Is it Maeve or Mauve? It is Maeve,
Maeve.
isn't it?
Mauve's the colour.
I had Soren and I at our second half of the festival. Our front of house person had an Irish name, and it reads like Aisling. Do you know how that one's pronounced?
Aisling.
Yeah, Aisling. So good. It was fun watching her and Soren say, he's like, Aisling? She's no, Aisling. Suren? No, Soren.
Soren. And you're like, I'm Matt.
I'm Matt.
Hello.
The last thing we need to do is welcome a few people, quite a few actually this week, into the Triptych Club. We've got 9 names, Dave. Are you ready for this?
Oh my gosh.
This is the biggest intake in a while, I reckon.
What did we do 3 years ago to get everyone to sign up?
Yeah, I wonder.
Probably something awesome.
2021.
Probably something real freaking cool.
Yeah, we said if we get more patrons this year, we'll all jump off a bridge.
We did.
Yeah, and we'd live to tell the tale.
It was freaking sick.
My back is still sore. So 9 inductees. Jess, you've made a drink that we're all going to have a sip of and toast to, Dave, who was it? Blue and
Willow.
Blue and Willow.
Blue and Willow. I
And
definitely
please,
remembered.
Everybody gather around. Everybody grab a shot glass as we enjoy a nice shot of Brad's piss.
Brad's piss.
It's not actual piss.
Oh, yeah.
It's
What do you
just
make
like
it out
it's
of? Lemon.
limoncello.
Oh, limoncello.
And something
Have you
else.
given it a salty rim?
It's got a salty rim.
Yeah.
But we're calling it Brad's piss.
Brad's
Yeah,
piss.
I think that's fantastic.
Look, I like
And
to-
in honour of Brad and Debbie and their fallen crewmates, I will be serving no food.
Okay. I think that's beautiful.
Excellent.
And we're just going to
Cheers
get
to Blue and Willow.
we're just going
Blue
to get
and Willow
really,
to Brad's piss.
really fucked
Here's
up.
Brad's piss.
AJ, if you can put a chinking sound effect in there, that'd be great. Oh, Jess did it for us.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Have we explained what we're doing here?
Yeah, it's
We're
fine.
doing
I
the
get it.
Triptych Club. So these people have been on the sign up level or above for 3 years straight. And that's how they get into the Triptych Club. It's
The
theatre of the
sign
mind.
up level or above.
The shout out level or above.
Well, you're thinking of Scheinberg. There's the Scheinberg
Gotcha.
level as
Yep.
well.
I was, because I started saying shine, but I was saying shout. And yeah, anyway.
Whatever.
Anyway,
Whatever, does it matter?
So we induct these people in. It's basically a hall of fame that we induct these people in, and it's also a clubhouse. And every week, Jess has food and drink, so that's what Brad's piss is.
Yep.
And I always book a band,
Mm.
and you're never gonna get it.
What?
You're never gonna get it. You are gonna
You're
get
never
it.
You won't
gonna
understand
get
it,
it.
no matter how hard you try.
And performing their hit, Orinoco Flow, Sail Away. You better believe it. Enya is here.
Oh
my
my
God.
god.
Dun, dun, dun.
Beautiful.
Wait, is she actually singing? She's not singing her language, is she?
For that song?
Is that like Gaelic or something?
I don't think so.
Or is she singing in English?
Is that for Sail Away?
Yeah.
From Bissau to Palau in the shade of Avalon.
It's English.
As long as it's English.
From
I
Fiji
think-
to Tiree and the Isles of Ebony. I can't really remember the tune that well, but you know.
Sail away,
Beautiful
sail
piece of
away.
music. Beautiful
What a
piece of
wild
music.
hit song as well.
Excited to see that live. That's actually going to rule.
She's
That
gonna.
would actually be so fun.
I
Yeah.
think she'll open and close her set with it somehow.
Would you believe it? That's not even a most played song on Spotify.
What is?
Really?
Would you able to guess another one?
Uh,
That's nearly
I reckon I'd know it when I hear it. But
nearly 100 million more. Only Time is
Oh,
the
no,
name
I
of the
don't
song.
know that one.
There you go, 300 million for Only Time.
And
Wow.
what was her band called before that?
Ooh, I don't
She was
know.
in some biggish band.
Enya and the Enyas?
Ah, yes. Ah, yes.
Enya and the Enyas.
Only Time. We'll have to play that before we finish. But, yeah.
Clanad?
Clanad, that's right. Okay.
I googled it. Okay, here we go.
So I'm going to read out these names.
Yeah, please.
Theatre of the mind. So if you hear your name, I'm going
Exactly.
to lift the velvet rope on
Run
your
on
way
in.
in. Dave's up on the stage, hopping up. Obviously, Jess behind the bar.
Yep.
Which is around to the side of the stage within reaching distance. So Jess can give Dave a reach around. As in to tap him on the back to reach around his back to tap
Yeah,
him
yeah.
to.
No, we all understood.
Yeah, yeah. To say what
No
a
other
good
way
job he's
that
doing.
could, well, that could be.
Yeah,
so
come on.
I think that's fine.
And childish, this show?
What are you talking
What are you
about?
talking about?
I'm going to reply to that review.
I wish you could.
No,
Hey,
because late at night you would, and it would be regrettable.
Hey, give us 5-star reviews, why don't you?
Yeah.
Combat that.
I dare you.
I mean,
If you don't like it, that's okay. You just don't have to listen.
it would be wild if you got through this far if you haven't
If
been
you
enjoying it, but I
hated
appreciate
it.
it for trying.
A lot of hate listeners.
I think if you give it 3-4 listens, 3 episodes,
Yeah.
10 hours of your life.
It's just like starting a new TV show. I always say that. You got to give it 3 episodes. You got to give us 3 episodes.
Yeah.
One
Let
each.
us in. Anyway, so we've got 9 names to read out. These people, once you're in, you're not allowed to leave, but no one's ever wanted to anyway.
No one's ever requested it.
Yep. So, Dave, you ready to go?
Ready to rock.
Dave does a bit of weak wordplay based on either the
Fucking believable.
city they're from or their name.
Just because you're amazing at naming boats.
Yeah, come on, mate.
Come on.
No, I'm just letting
Give
them
it a
know.
chance.
I assume that's what you're trying to
We
do.
all have our strengths.
Yeah. And
Dave,
Dave's
you
is weak wordplay.
Well, that's all I said.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's so weak it's strong.
I didn't like the tone.
Okay.
Let's-
I apologize.
let's-
I've only
let's
got
go.
one tone, Jess, so if you don't like that one, I'm sorry, I can't help you. All right, here we go from Newtown in Victoria in Australia. It's Sarah Fuller.
Oh, my heart was feeling empty. But now my heart is feeling Sarah!
From Watson in Louisiana in the United States, it's John Denise.
It's elementary, dear John Denay from Watson.
Yes. Oh, that's good.
From Myrtleford, beautiful town
part of
just
the
outside
world.
of Bright. In Victoria, Australia, it's Dylan Old.
Some would say the night is young, but I'd say the night is Dylan Old.
Woo!
And that is a good thing.
Yeah, you want it to be Dylan Old.
From New Brighton in, I reckon, Minnesota in the United States, it's Nicole Wood.
I didn't think that we were going to have any good people go in tonight, but so I'm trying to get to Wood somehow.
Okay, no, you
It's,
get it.
people ask if I would, if Nicole,
People say to me,
Jess's look.
people say to me, I bet no one's brave enough to go into the club tonight. That's also really,
Yes,
really
yes,
cool.
yes,
and I'd
yes.
say, you know what, Nicole Wood?
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
You got there with no help from Matt.
Dresden, I gave him thinking time. From Dresden in Tennessee, the United States, please welcome in Stanton.
Stanton, I'm a phantom.
Ooh.
From Houston, Texas, in the United States, please welcome Kevin Moyer.
Looking at the guest list, a lot of people say we have too many Kevins, but I say we need Moyer. Kevin Moyer.
Yes.
From
That feels good.
That
Come on.
feels
That feels
good.
good,
I
especially-
clapped. What more do you
No,
want?
yeah, but I want Matt to kiss my feet.
Well, I think a simpler man would have done some sort of "we have a problem," and I thought that was no. That's what I'm saying. Would have been level 1. Dave was operating up in a higher sphere.
You're ridiculous.
From Port Allen, also in Louisiana, in the United States, 2 Louisianans this week. It's Jay Cormack.
I've actually made a request to Enya tonight for the last chorus of the song, but she could change it to Sailor J, Cormac.
From Warrington in New South Wales, Australia, it's Julie Page.
Turn the page. It's Julie Page's turn.
Yes, turn the page.
Paging Julie. From Milton Keynes.
Julieing Pagey.
From Great Britain, we got a twofer here. It's Chris and Sadie.
Chris and Sadie, you are my...
Cleaning lady.
Yeah, but I want to get a bit of a rhyme with Miss Anne.
Okay, sorry, I was trying to help because you seemed like you were floundering, but... all right.
Oh, what about this one? Well, the real Chris and Sadie, please stand up. Please stand up.
That's
please
good
stand
stuff.
up.
It's like Slim Shady.
Fuck yeah.
And the great thing is Enya's now come out. You can hear she's backed by Clannad and they're starting to play their version of the real Slim Shady. So good.
And it's haunting.
It
It's
is
beautiful.
haunting. It's haunting. With a real Chris and Sadie, please stand up. Thank you so much and welcome in Chris and Sadie, Julie, Jay, Kevin, Stanton, Nicole, Dylan, John, and Sarah. That brings it to the episode.
That's a great bunch. That's a good crop.
We've done, this has been a big day. We did a phrasing the bar.
Yeah.
We did something else. We've done 3 or 4 episodes today and they've all been fun.
All been fun, but we have lost our minds a little bit. So we have to get out of here, okay? But let me tell you before we go that you can follow us on social media at Do Go On Pod.
I'm sure there'll be video over the coming weeks of me nearly vomiting at Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
So, and there's lots. We've got dozens of videos now if you want to see little funny moments of the show that we put on Instagram.
Yeah, if you
TikTok.
don't like listening to us, not bloody get on with it, just watch little snippets of
We'll
it.
put up 60-second snippets and we get to see our faces. And
Do Go On Pod. Please do follow us. It helps us as well.
Particularly on TikTok, where we've had a TikTok for a little while, but we're putting videos up there a fair bit now. So if you're on TikTok, go give us a follow. That would be amazing. But also Instagram, you can find us on Facebook. We have a website, which is Do Go On Pod. So if you want to stay up to date with live shows and all our other podcasts and suggesting a topic, that's the place to do it.
And our web series on the Stupid Old channel,
yes.
it'd almost entirely be out by now, mid-May or whatever, mid to late May.
It'd be a good chunk of it.
Oh,
out.
yeah, there's definitely a chunk of it out. So if you just search Do Go On The Quiz Show on YouTube, you should find it. And that's been a lot of fun, getting a lot of love.
Yeah.
They're totally separate from this show. But yeah,
new topics, lots of
full
guests,
sort
friends.
of 40 minutes to an hour-ish each week. So yeah,
Really fun.
worth a look.
Would love you to check them out, please.
Hey, and follow all of us individually. I'm Matt Stewart. That's Jess Perkins. That's Dave Warnicky. Now boot this baby home, Dave, please.
Hey, we'll be back next week with another episode before you know it. But until then, I'll say thank you so much for listening and goodbye.
Later.
Bye. God, we're really succinct when we want to get out of here, aren't we?
I want to stay. Sail away, sailor stay, may I may. Look, I'm losing it.